Hare Krishna devotees, welcome to Shloka Day. Today's Shloka, Shloka number 39 of chapter 18. Yadagre chanubandhe cha
Yadagre chanubandhe cha
sukham mohanamatmanaha
sukham mohanamatmanaha
nidralasya pramadotham
nidralasya pramadotham
tattamasamudahritam.
tattamasamudahritam.
Straightforward meaning, translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Jai.
Yat,
Yat,
that which,
that which,
agre,
agre,
in the beginning,
in the beginning,
cha,
cha,
also,
also,
anubandhe,
anubandhe,
at the end,
at the end,
cha,
also,
sukham,
sukham,
happiness,
happiness,
mohanam,
mohanam,
illusory,
illusory,
atmanaha,
atmanaha,
of the self,
of the self,
nidra,
nidra,
sleep,
sleep,
alasya,
alasya,
laziness,
laziness,
pramada,
pramada,
and illusion,
and illusion,
uttham,
uttham,
produced of,
produced of,
tat,
tat,
that,
that,
tamasam,
tamasam,
in the mode of ignorance,
in the mode of ignorance,
udahritam,
udahritam,
is said to be, translation, and that happiness, which is blind to self-realization,
which is blind to self-realization,
which is delusion from beginning to end,
which is delusion from beginning to end,
and which arises from sleep,
and which arises from sleep,
laziness and illusion,
laziness and illusion,
is said to be of the nature of ignorance.
is said to be of the nature of ignorance.
Prabhupada writes in the purport, one who takes pleasure in laziness and in sleep is certainly in the mode of darkness, ignorance, and one who has no idea how to act and how not to act is also in the mode of ignorance. For the person in the mode of ignorance, everything is illusion. There is no happiness either in the beginning or at the end. For the person in the mode of passion, there might be some kind of ephemeral happiness. Ephemeral means fleeting, something very short-lived. In the beginning and at the end, distress. But for the person in the mode of ignorance, there is only distress, both in the beginning and at the end. Tamasic happiness is of the lowest kind and is foolishness from beginning to end. It throws the soul into the darkness of ignorance. And yet, since there is a tiny experience of pleasure in it, people get addicted to it. So the question actually really is, how can you be in the mode of ignorance and still be happy? Because you would think if you're in the mode of ignorance, you should be only experiencing distress. So that is also an illusion, no? That you think it is happiness. That is why cigarette smokers find it difficult to break their habit, even while knowing fully well it is harming them. They are unable to reject the happiness they get from the addiction. Shri Krishna states that such pleasures derived from sleep, laziness, and negligence are in the mode of ignorance. Shri Krishna has said that if one sleeps too much or sleeps too little, he cannot become a yogi. On the other hand, if one is regulated in sleeping and other bodily activities, then by practice of yoga, one can become free from miseries. So, Krishna is saying sleep is an essential bodily function and it has to be regulated. So it is not, even though Prabhupada is writing here in his purport that, sleep, people in the mode of ignorance are always asleep. Does it mean we should not sleep? No. Sleep is necessary for the body. Therefore, Krishna says in the 6th chapter, everything has to be regulated. Your work has to be regulated, your eating has to be regulated, your sleeping has to be regulated, and your recreational activities also have to be regulated. So that you have to maintain a balance among all of this. But here, Krishna is not talking about nidra. He's talking about sukha. So when one sleeps for the pleasure of sleeping, even though sleep is a biological function, it is necessary. But when you are sleeping for the pleasure of sleeping, you may be actually trying to sleep because you want to escape from the problems of life. So I know people in my extended family who have told me that when they were going through deep depression, all they used to do was sleep all day. Sleep all day. Because they couldn't deal with the situation in life. Therefore, this is one of the symptoms of being in the mode of ignorance. When you sleep to escape from your problems. Sometimes material nature makes us realize that how much we are helpless. No solutions are working and we are not even getting the sleep also. Sometimes people in the mode of ignorance also may not sleep at all because they are so restless and they don't know what to do. Pramadhattam. Pramada is intoxication, illusion. Pramada can come in various ways. One of the literal examples is drinking. When a person drinks, it is agre chanubandhecha. From beginning to end, it is misery. But then they are experiencing a little bit of happiness. But they don't understand actually it is completely miserable situation. The more and more a person drinks, the more and more he becomes bound by the intoxication. Another example His Grace Chaitanya Charan Prabhu says is pramada by TV, which triggers lust, anger, and greed within us. So we have to be very careful, even though all of us would have a TV at home, probably most of us do have a TV at home. We have to be very careful in terms of what we choose to watch on TV. Best not to watch it at all, actually. In general, the activities shown in TV are rajasic and tamasic. If a short advertisement affects people's mind so much, how the long programs that deal with lust, anger, greed going to affect them? There are many serials that have so much intrigue about interfamily, what can you call it? Leelas, in a very pleasant way. And so people are very addicted to these TV serials because they want to know what happens next. Who will betray whom and who is evil and who is taking revenge and all of this. It is just very, very disgusting, actually, if you think about it, that we even enjoy watching things like this, because you're intrigued by other people's make-believe lives, or maybe it is happening for real, who knows. So TV makes people dull and lull. It means actually intellectually you're passive and physically you're inactive. So what kind of happiness I pursue in my life, that will enable me to either rise or go down in my life. If we chase happiness in ignorance, so there is such a thing as happiness in ignorance. There may be some happiness, but overall our consciousness, our life, and our post-life destination will go down. The most frightening thing is that if we engage in such kind of activities in your next life, you're going to degrade. Your consciousness has to be degraded. If we choose happiness and goodness and then practice to make spiritual advancement, then gradually we will get unending happiness. So the happiness in this world is very fleeting. But the happiness in the spiritual world is unending, unlimited. It never stops. Therefore, spirituality, when you really are practicing spirituality very nicely with very nice sadhana, then you can experience a little bit of this bliss. No anxiety, no stress, just happy to serve Krishna, whatever opportunities we get. Talking about ignorance and happiness in the mode of ignorance. So Chaitanya Charan Prabhu is asking the question, why are mental health problems increasing so much? The alarming increase in mental health problems nowadays raises a critical question. beyond the specific issues afflicting particular people, are there overall societal factors that contribute to this trend? Generally speaking, people suffer mental health problems when their perception of reality diverges significantly from reality. That means the perception of the world around you, that determines whether you are in a healthy state of mind or you are in a depressed state of mind. In today's world, are there any major factors that distort our perception of reality? One factor is technology, such as social media. Sociological studies show that increased social media usage, especially among teenagers, has been associated with increased depression. Why? Because everything that they see on the media seems to suggest that somebody out there is far happier, far wealthier, far more successful than they are. And they keep watching these things and they keep comparing themselves to what others seem to have. Without getting into the technicalities of how exactly this might be happening, let's consider a common sense scenario. Suppose girls browse images of women with model-like figures and lament that their bodies are nowhere as attractive. Or suppose boys browse similar images and lament that they will never get anyone that good looking. Both lamentations are based on a double distortion of reality. First, people don't have to compete in real life with digital images. Most real people don't look like those images. Even those models themselves usually don't look as attractive as their digitally made up images. Second, looking like models or having someone who looks like that doesn't guarantee happiness. It's like as if to say attractive people are all very happy. Attractive people and their partners have their own problems, as even a cursory look at their personal lives reveals. Pertinently, the Bhagavad Gita 18.39 states that illusion and insanity are associated with ignorant definitions of happiness. Does this analysis mean that social media or technology cause mental health problems? Not exactly. It's an example to highlight how today's society exposes us to forces that distort our perception of reality. The onus is on us to protect ourselves from those forces. As our society increasingly exposes us to forces that distort our conception of reality, it makes us all the more vulnerable to mental health problems. So the issue is not the technology. The issue is how we use the technology and how our reality seems to be distorted because of it. Because we are exposed to glitzy things on social media. And when we see these glitzy things, we experience envy. We think everybody else has it, but I don't have it. That can really be a problem. I know many youngsters, some youngsters, I shouldn't say many, who really think that they can make it big on social media. So they will post every day on Instagram. So they think they will also become big. Or they are seeing, okay, Instagram or YouTube, if you post, you can make money. If you have a huge audience, then you can start making money through these social media platforms. So that itself becomes an addiction, right? So it's quite alarming that many youngsters think that their their career is set if they just commit themselves to social media. Yes, there are many youngsters who are wildly successful on social media, but it doesn't mean everybody is going to be wildly successful. But still, it doesn't prevent from many youngsters from trying to be as successful as someone else. So essentially here, Krishna is saying that which makes you blind to the purpose of life. The purpose of life is self-realization. So if you are blind to the real purpose, then Krishna is saying you are under delusion from beginning to end. And some symptoms Krishna is saying is sleep, laziness, illusion. All of this is said to be in the nature of ignorance. But Krishna is not saying sleep is not necessary. It's just excessive sleep, unregulated sleep. That is an indication that you may be under the mode of ignorance. If you like our videos, please subscribe to our channel and turn on the bell notification. If you'd like to join our classes every day, please check the details in the description section of this video. We look forward to serving you.